Yes, people, what's happening? Nice one for coming back to the Fuse UK. It's much appreciated as always. Just waiting for James Lilley to join now. Got a massive fight ahead of him. It's just come up that he's going to be fighting the number one pound for pound BKFC champion in numerous weights. Obviously, they're going to be fighting for the £155 strap. Massive fight for him. And I think it's a fight that he can win. Just going to wait for him to join now. It shan't be too long. Hope everybody's been enjoying the weather today. Been a beauty. Been fishing all day. Absolutely knackered. Yeah, he's coming in now. Well, what's been happening, people? So many great events coming up on the BKFC. Especially we've got BKFC in Newcastle next as well in the UK on the 1st of July at the Metro Dome. The Walker Dome. That's right. On the 1st of July, some massive fights on there. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. And here he is. He's coming in now. Just waiting for his camera to come on. Here he is. Yes, James, what's happening, mate? You good?
Hi, mate. How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You're buffering a bit on the camera.
Hold on a minute. Let me see if I got this any better. I'm in
No worries,
4G
mate.
a minute. Let me take it off. One sec, mate. Let me take this off.
No worries, mate. No worries. There with us, people, just sorting out a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll be back on soon. It's just sorting a different connection out. Oh. Is he back? Yeah, that's better, mate. How you doing, pal? You good?
It's better. Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Yeah, sorry, the Wi-Fi out here is shit.
No worries, mate. No worries. I was wondering, mate, before we get into the juicy bits, take us back to the Taylor fight, Bobby Taylor, and what happened after this fight? Were you just staying fit and ready in the gym, or were you waiting for a call first to get into a camp?
To be honest, like I usually I don't stay in the gym. I'm renowned for getting into burgers and pizzas and everything else. But I managed to stay in the gym this time. I haven't been doing any boxing or any sort of like combat sports. I was doing like the classes at my gym, like boot camps, doing pads maybe once, twice a week, lots of running. So I was generally fit anyway, and I kept my weight down. Don't get me wrong, I'm still heavier than I should be really, but I've kept my weight down relatively low. I'm a lot lower than I was going into the Bobby Taylor camp. Yeah, so I was taking over anyway. So it was weird because I never usually get the mindset that I wasn't training every day. I was training maybe 5 out of 7 days, 4 out of 7 days if I was working away, but I was always getting some runs in, pads once a week, maybe twice a week, and then doing like in my gym they do like boot camps in the morning, which is like all
Yeah.
HIIT training. So I kept myself taking over more than I've ever done, which is a strange new thing for me.
Yeah, and we obviously knew it was going to be a decent name next for you, a big name, but we weren't fully like the public weren't fully confident on the Palomino fight because there was rumours going around he might be fighting Trout. People didn't know what weight he was going to be fighting in, but you got it, mate. It was the main fight that you wanted as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like when I got into the sport, I always wanted to fight either the biggest name or the best fighter I could fight. And it's no disrespect to Palomino. He's just happens to be the pound for pound number one, and he happens to be at my weight. And he's one of the three dominant champions BKFC have got. He's one of them. So it was no kind of like, oh, I want to fight him because I don't like him. It was more the fact that he's the best fighter in the world. So I want to test myself against that. So I always wanted to get on that kind of route. I feel with like myself coming over to BKFC, I don't think I had the kind of the fanfare Connor did and Tyler did, where they had like a big announcement. There was loads of people. I think I was a little bit more under the radar. So I think I knew I had to do some work to get up there, and because of my performances, I've pulled myself from, you know, obscurity to like the number one, and then yeah, he was always going to be the target. If he vacated the belt, you know, I would have still wanted to try and, you know, go after him maybe the weight above, because he's the pound for pound number one. So
Yeah.
for me to get to that level, I've got to face him at some point. There would always be questions if he vacated 155 and I fought someone else, or would he beat Palomino? So it's you know, the stars have aligned, and you know, I'm still a bit like overwhelmed by it all. You know, it's a crazy situation. You know, stuff like this doesn't happen. You know, like the world title is like some sort of like mythical object to me. You know, and I've got the chance on one of the biggest promotions in the world now. You know, the show they did in Denver has kind of taken BKFC to the next level, and you know, I'm one of the fights after that show. So it's just great for me.
Yeah, definitely. And when did you find out about this fight? Like, have you known about it for a while?
No, not really. Because there was the rumors going around about Palomino Trout. So we were on to like Nate, and that's another thing. I'll come to Austin Trout because he's been posting as well. But we were kind of on to Nate and Dave about getting me a fight. Tyler was obviously saying like if he beat Soto, we wanted the rematch, and there was all these things come up. So we just wanted the date. You know, we didn't care. We got to the point where, right, if it's not going to be Palomino because he was fighting Trout, who are we going to fight? When are we going to fight? I was even going to go down the road of messaging Andy Bakewell and seeing if I could get on a British card, because I just wanted to fight. You know, I was a bit fed up of waiting around. And then about 2 weeks ago, I've got a few friends stateside now because I've been over there a couple of times. I got a message saying they thought the Palomino Trout fight was off, and I thought it was a bit strange that such a big fight that was meant to happen in New Mexico hadn't been announced. So I was like, so I messaged my manager. We started picking up the train a little bit because I had like this feeling. And then last Friday, I hadn't heard anything for a week. Like nobody had spoken to me, so I was pissed off. So we were having a barbecue in my house. So I was like to my manager, I said, right, if you don't give me fight news by 5 o'clock today, I'm getting the beers in and I'm going on the piss. And so he was like, right, okay. So I literally got down to the Asda about 10 minutes from my house. My phone rang. He said, right, they want you to fight in 6 weeks. Will you be ready? He was like, yeah. Rang my missus and said, right, we're going to have to cancel the barbecue. So she wasn't happy. So, but so it was last Friday. So 6 weeks out, he told me.
Yeah, but how did it feel, mate, to get, obviously, it's not just a world title fight, this, is it? You're fighting like the Floyd Mayweather, a bare knuckle, the biggest name, the pound for pound champion who's never been beat.
It was weird because like I still had to go to Asda to get stuff like for shopping, so I was a bit overwhelmed. I was like, my phone was going. I was trying to ring my coaches to tell them we were going to Miami. We got the big one. Ringing them. I had one of my kids with me. I seen a couple of people I knew in the shop, and they were like, "When are you fighting next?" I was like, I was like all over the place. I was like picking up the wrong fucking the wrong type of cheese and stuff. You know, my head was gone, and then I got home and it kind of sunk in then. And I know after, you know, we got the work in straight away, but like after a couple of friends popped over to congratulate me, and it was really overwhelming for like a good couple of days that I don't think I could get my head around the magnitude of what was going on. For me, it's just a fight, but then if you think about it too much, you're like, fuck, I got all these eyes coming on me. So yeah, I was a bit overwhelmed by it all, to be honest. You know, it's kind of like winning the lottery for me. You know, it's the biggest fight I can get.
Yeah, of course, mate. And do you think Palomino's for anybody like you in bare knuckle?
I don't, you know, he's fought loads of different types of fighters. He's fought Gatling guy who's a good boxer. Brito boxed well. Martin Brown boxed well, but I don't think any of them moved like me. I don't think you know, I should be on the bigger man. You know, I'm taller. I'm naturally bigger. I think I'm all wrong for him. I think with my movement, my speed, and I think all the fights leading up to this point where, you know, we had the first fight in Florida, so it was adjusting to a new time zone, adjusting to a weight cut. in a couple of days in a different country. So we added that to the experience. Then the second fight, we did 5 rounds against Tyler Goodjohn, who's relentless in the rings. We got 5 rounds experience in. And then the next fight, it was another state. We knew everyone there. We knew all the staff. We knew all the fighters. And then we got a win against quite a hostile crowd in New Orleans. They were all pro Bobby, you know, chanting USA and all that. So we've had all these little bricks added into the wall now. So the wall is built and solid. So I think this is going to be the best I'm going to be, because all these little bits we've picked up from other fights have brought us to this moment.
Yeah, would you say you're in your prime now of your bare knuckle fighting? Is this the best James Lilley, Lucas Palomino could be possibly fighting?
Yeah, definitely. And it's, you know, sure, like as you get older, you know, you feel the niggles and stuff, but my hand speed is still probably faster than when I was in my 20s. And I've picked up so much experience from being around other pro fighters. And like I said, going abroad and fighting in America and twice now, and having that experience. Like the first time we went there, I was nervous because I didn't know anybody there. I was like the stranger, like the foreigner, didn't know any of the staff. In London then, I knew them all. And then in New Orleans, you know, I'm giving big hugs to all the guys who work for BKFC because they know me. I've got UFC fighters saying they know who I am. So it's all added, and I think I'm at my most dangerous now. You know, regardless of the skill set and, you know, my experience. I think because of everything that's happened, it's come to this point. You know.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And I've heard rumours that there could be other fighters from the UK also fighting on this card. Is that right?
Yeah, I think he's both of a friend of ours. Because I think I think he might be watching right now. But yeah, he's
It's all right to drop that in.
yeah, I think he's coming over, and you know, he's a good friend of mine. He knows my team, so it's gonna be a hell of a laugh out there. I got a couple of the boys from the gym are coming over, a couple of my friends coming over, so we have a little bit of a crowd there this time. Not much, like, you know, only 10 of us or so, but it's just nice to have that little, you know, that little pocket of people.
Yeah.
Oh, I've also got another film crew, Rolling Media, coming out to shoot another like documentary short film. So
Nice.
it's gonna be a nice crowd of Welsh people there, and it's gonna be good. Like, and I got a couple of guys flying in from New York, I know. So yeah, it'd be good crowd.
I tell you what, the Americans will love him, won't they?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah,
They'll absolutely love him.
I always wind him up. Said, "Oh, you're fighting on my undercard again." He's like, "Oh, I don't mind fighting on your undercard." You know, but yeah, we have good banter. But you know, it's great to see people from BKFC UK now transitioning over to BKFC America. And I think, especially with fights like Caleb Harris and Franco coming up, you're going to have these crossover fights, and I think more British people are going to get the opportunity to fight in America, which is amazing, because that's what we want at the end of the day, you know, is to fight
Yeah.
stateside.
Yeah, of course, mate. It's fighter's dream, innit, to be fighting over America.
Yeah, as I said, like, you know, nothing really fazed me. I always said if I retired before this Palomino fight got announced, I would have been satisfied, because I've gone to America twice to fight, 2 different states. You know, that was my dream as a kid. Like, and you know, I'm really happy. Obviously, the goalposts moved because I won, so it's like, all right, what's the next challenge? But you know, I feel really lucky to have put myself in this position. I know it's through, you know, all the fights I've had and the hard work in the gym, but I feel really lucky to be in this situation. And on that note, my manager, Remington Steele, I don't think he gets enough praise, because he's recently had 2 boys from Swansea fight in Memphis, Tennessee. Only 2 MMA boys. So he came over, Remy did, for a week before BKFC London, and he signed a couple of MMA boys from Swansea, and 2 of them are going over to America to fight in only like the 2nd and 3rd pro MMA fight. So I think
Nice.
the UK is really behind the times with managers. Like, they don't realise that if you get a good American manager, you can get these opportunities. You know, you don't have to chase big shows like UFC and Bellator straight away. You can just fight on these shows and build up experience. So I do want to give a shout out to Remington, because, you know, he's taken me in the last, 14, 15 months from, you know, selling tickets on local shows to fighting on co-main events and main events in America. So big shout out to Remy, and anyone else who wants to sign with him, I'd recommend him.
Yeah, class. That's what the fighter's aim is, in it, just to get out there. Even like you said there, it's not even fighting on the UFC and Bellator. You can fight in these same cities and places, but just on smaller shows until you build your profile up.
Yeah, and even the small shows in America, they seem to do it they seem to do it really big, and like they must have like really good backing. I know like America's full of billionaires. They must have backing, because all the shows I've seen, even if it's not sold out, they've always been a good event. Always like
Yeah.
stage lighting, big. I can't remember what they're called. The cranes and stuff around the ring. It's always looked good. So, yeah, if you can get out to America and get the experience, that's something you can tell your grandkids. It's berserk. Like, I know people who have boxed all their lives and never got the opportunity to fight in America. So again, I feel so lucky and so privileged to have had the chance.
Yeah, of course. And do you think Palomino will be underestimating you in this fight?
I think he's disappointed in the fight, to be honest. I think he wanted the Trout fight, because he's, like I said, I had no problem with him, getting that fight, because he's made 5 title defenses. How many more defenses do you want him to make before he gets one of these big names that are earning the big money, like Chad Mendes? So I could understand it from a business sense. So if I made 5 defenses, because all that's going to happen is you beat the 5 people in your division, then 5 new people are going to come through, and what you meant to do, beat them again. So I can understand it, and I can understand, it might not be the fight, but I do also think that because of his legacy, he knows that he will get one of those fights. So I think he needs to win. So I don't think he's underestimating me as such, but I don't think he's expecting me to be as good as I am, or should be, really.
And how long do you fly out before the fight? Have you got a good few days there before and after the fight?
Yeah, the last 2 fights, I think I flew out on the Tuesday for New Orleans, fought on the Friday. I think it was the Monday for Florida, and fought on the Thursday. We're actually going out a full week before the weigh-in this time, so I'll be out there on. No, sorry, I'm going out on the Saturday, and the weigh-in's on the Thursday. So I'm out there 6 days before, and then a day after. So, you being stateside yourself, I think if you're on the East Coast, because they're only 5 hours behind with us, as long as you make that first day a little bit longer,
Yeah.
don't sleep on the plane, get off the plane, train, stay up to about 10, 11 o'clock the first night, even though it's like 3 in the morning UK, you can acclimatise easy. And I found the East Coast really easy for us to acclimatise to. Although we were waking up early in the morning, I think we adjusted really good. I think if I was going further into mid-America or West Coast, it'd be different because there's more time zones. But yeah, at the moment, I think 6 days before the fight is perfect.
Yeah, I found it over there. It was like dead clammy, dead humid. America.
Yeah.
Nearly everywhere I went, there's hardly no air, is there?
No, yeah, I get that, but I was worried about that because I'd read stories about when like Joe Calzaghe and Ricky Hatton had gone over there. Like I think Ricky Hatton said when he was staying in a villa somewhere because of the aircon, it gave him like a chest infection. So they were turning the aircon off, and then it was making them clammy. But I've gone out when it's not been too hot, so yeah, it is a bit like humid, like it's that horrible sticky feel, but. I think I just fucking can adapt. Like I think I'm like a cockroach. Like I can survive it anywhere.
Yeah. So what can we expect to see from James Lilley in this next fight with Lewis Palomino?
It's at the minute. It's like although I've got a short camp, I just feel that this is my time. This is the moment. I've been sparring some good boys already. Some good MMA boys getting the clinch work in. Some good pro boxers, some good amateur boxers. So I just feel that there's nothing he can do that will surprise me. I think as long as I box to my best ability, I said I can't see anything other than me winning. I don't think I boxed too well against Bobby Taylor last time. I think I went after him a bit much. I think Tyler was a really good performance, but criticised I did slow down the last 2 rounds. So I think maybe a mix of the two, and I'll have more than enough for him. You know, I don't think he's fought anyone like me. I think you're going to see plenty of movement. I think it's going to be a chess match. I think people are going to be surprised at the type of fight it is.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And I can't wait for this fight. Obviously, it's a big thing for the UK as well. All the UK bare-knuckle fans and that need to get behind you in this fight, mate. 'Cause it's a massive fight and a huge prize to bring back to the UK.
Yeah, it's been a while since, you know, I think it was Tyler 2 years ago now. He was the last person to get a shot, and we haven't had that many guys go over to America. It's only been me and Connor since Mick Terrell and Tyler. Obviously, we're building up more of a stable now of fighters to go over, but you know, I feel that there's a lot riding on me for this. You know, we need someone to get out there and get a title belt and bring it back to UK. That'll put the UK firmly on the map, and I'm happy to be the first person to do it. You know, I think this fight's got massive implications for the UK and where we go moving forward.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And I really appreciate you coming on tonight, mate. But is there anything else you want to share with the people or sponsors, shout outs before we wrap it up?
Well, first of all, I want to talk about Austin Trout before we go. Right, he's he's been kicking off now. He posted up a post saying that I went crying to the promoters about getting skipped over. I didn't. We knew the fight was happening, but it hadn't been announced, so I hadn't spoken to anyone other than my team about it. You know, Nate and Dave, I don't ask them. You know, I don't complain to them about fights that I see. You know, why is he getting the shot? So I don't know where that came from. All I can tell Austin Trout is that once I beat Palomino, he can be next. It's no problem. I don't mind beating him up. But he can fucking stop crying as well. But that's what I want to say about that. But yeah, for sponsors, I've had a couple of guys come on board again. Stronghold Scaffolding, Pro Gleam, JMW Plumbing Heating, New Botanicals. There's a few others, and obviously my team. You know, without them, these kind of trips don't happen, and I'm forever grateful, and I hope I can do them proud of that.
Yeah, just a quick one on that one as well. Like, just because fighters have got big names as well, I don't think they should be getting the chances to fight at the titles. Like Diego Sanchez, yeah, he's a legend in UFC and that, a great fighter, absolute legend. But it was his bare knuckle debut, and it wasn't an MMA fight. Like, prove yourself, fight some real bare knuckle fighters, have 2 or 3 fights, and earn yourself like the rankings, like everybody else has to.
Exactly. I feel that a lot of these guys, like the ex-UFC guys, are using bare knuckle as, like, you know, like Jake Paul. He fights like he's not actually fighting boxers. He's fighting ex-MMA stars or ex-basketball players. They're kind of using it as like an exhibition. They're like, oh, Eddie Alvarez versus Chad Mendes, for example. They both know that that's not going to affect their MMA legacy, and they can get a good payday out of it. Then they've got no interest in the rankings or the real bare knuckle fighters, and I understand where it's coming from because they're on a bare knuckle scrap. There's money in name, but then I think it can do 2 things to the sport. It can help get eyes on the sport, but it's also going to harm the sport because then, you know, you got people like Palomino was chasing Chad Mendes for a year. He wanted that fight because it was such a name, and Chad Mendes wasn't interested. And then Palomino wanted to fight Trout, and then whatever happened. And I think it hurts people then because I'm waiting around wondering who I'm fighting, because should I fight someone who's not ranked now and give up my position? You know, it's hard to balance it, and I think Dave Feldman and Nate Chuck have done a really good job with what's happened at the minute and getting the fighters on. I think they've seen that these guys are good to put on a card, but I don't think they can see a future for them in the sport. You know, I think Mike Perry might have, as is rumoured to have left as well. So you know, I don't know what's going on with those guys at the moment.
Yeah, because you get some fighters that have like a clean streak of winning, waiting for the title when they're in position, and they'll have a warm-up fight and lose and drop right down in the rankings, lost a chance.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I said, like, I can't really frown at, say, Palomino wanting to
Yeah, of
get,
course.
but if that's the case, then they should then say, right, well, make a voluntary defence or make yet another fight for an interim title, maybe the number 1 versus number 2 for an interim title if you're making a voluntary defence, and then just do it because otherwise it gets a little bit messy. But it is what it is, you know. I think once the UFC guys really get integrated into the sport, like John Dodson, for example, he fought or was it Jared Grant? And you know, Jared Grant had like 5 bare-knuckle fights, so that's a legit fight, you know. And that's what I want to see. I want to see if the UFC guys are coming over, try and fight like the legit guys rather than. Oh, look, there's our friend. He's just popped up. Yeah, I think if you know these UFC guys, they should you know, maybe have that one fight against him, and then if they're not interested, you know, they should sack him off. But if they want to fight someone in the rankings, why not?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, bro. We'll stay in touch like always, and have to do something again soon.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. I'm glad you know, you're the first guy I've spoken to about this, and you know, you guys are really supportive there. So I'm hoping next time we speak, I'll have a belt strapped on my shoulder.
100%, mate. It's all yours for the taking, mate. 1,000,000% you're going back. Let's
Cheers,
go.
Mate. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that.
See you in a bit,
guys.
mate. Bye. Yes, Pete, make sure you get behind James Lilley on this, because he has got the biggest fight in bare knuckle coming up soon against Louis Palomino, the pound-for-pound #1 in BKFC, and he's fighting him for the 155-pound strap. And we've got another entertainer going over there. Can't say just yet. A few clues have been given out during the podcast, and I don't want to be the one to drop it. But I tell you what, the Americans are going to absolutely love him. Take care, people.